Welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to talk about comparative and superlative adverbs. Remember that an adverb is a word or set of words that modifies verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Now usually adverbs modify verbs, telling us how often, when, or where something was done. Have a look at the example over here. We walked really slowly. Now there are two adverbs in the sentence, really and slowly. Really modifies the other adverb, slowly, and slowly modifies the verb walked and tells us how we walked. Now, most adverbs can show degree of quality or quantity by forming two degrees of comparison, the comparative degree and the superlative degree. Now, these degrees are formed from the positive degree, which is the usual form of adverbs. Have a look at the examples below. Let's start with the positive. She eats slowly. Slowly is the positive degree. The comparative form would be she eats more slowly than we do. Superlative, she eats the most slowly of us all. Now the comparative form is used for comparing two actions or state, while the superlative is used for comparing one action or state with all the others in the same category, as in the example below. He runs faster than Jack does. Comparative. But we need to check for sure who runs the fastest. Superlative. Now when adverbs end in ly, we add more or the most to form the comparative or the superlative form. For example, happily, more happily, the most happily. And when adverbs end in e, we add r or st. For example, late, later, the latest. Now the comparative form of the adverb well is better. The superlative, the best. Badly, the comparative form, worse. Superlative, the worst. Much, comparative, more. Superlative, the most. Little, comparative, less. Superlative, the least. Far, comparative, farther, further. Superlative, the farthest, the furthest. Note that it is impossible to have comparatives or superlatives of certain adverbs, especially those of time, for example, daily, yesterday, or then. Place, for example, there, up, down. And degree, for example, very, just, to. Now let's review and practice a bit. Remember, the comparative adverbs are used to compare differences between the two objects they modify. Now, superlative adverbs are used for comparing one action or state with all the others in the same category. Now read the following sentence and underline the comparative or superlative adverb. This car is better than that one. I want to see which one is the best. Better than, the best. Now form the comparatives and the superlatives of the adverbs below. Quietly. More quietly, the most quietly. Low. Lower, the lowest. Near. Nearer, the nearest. Seriously. more seriously, the most seriously. Now form the comparative and the superlative degrees of the adverb badly. She performs yesterday. Has anything happened? She performed of any actor today. She performs worse than yesterday. Has anything happened? She performed the best of any actor today. Note that it's impossible to have comparatives or superlatives of certain adverbs, especially those of time. For example, daily, yesterday, then. Please, for example, there, up, down, and degrees. For example, very, just, to. Now provide the correct form of the sentence below. He cooks more daily than his sister. He cooks daily while his sister rarely cooks. Here's a short story using comparative and superlative adverbs. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. After I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. I haven't thought that Paul can play basketball that well. Actually, he was in a basketball club at school. So back then he played even better. Honestly, I think he played the best of any teammates. Yeah? I didn't know that. Yeah. But after the knee surgery, he started to play less and less. Sadly, that was inevitable. And now, time for you to practice on your own. Form the comparatives and the superlatives of the following adverbs: very, well, long, loudly, badly. And now, read the following sentences, underline the mistakes, and then correct them. A. Susan came to work very lately yesterday. B. You should speak more quietlier at the library. C. We ran quite farly that day. D. Tim sings the bester. Everyone loves his singing. E. They drive more careful after the accident. And now, let's check your answers. Very, no comparative or superlative. Well, better, the best. Long, longer, the longest. Loudly, more loudly, the most loudly. Badly, worse, the worst. Susan came to work very late yesterday. You should speak more quietly at the library. We ran quite far that day. Tim sings the best. Everyone loves his singing. They drive more carefully after the accident. Thank you for watching this tutorial.